Not enough? I was trying to get the strands out a little bit more than I originally had. Whew. I can definitely get a little hot. Yeah, there was nobody in the costume. Just figured it'd be a nice little display. Which I realize I got some tags on here that I need to change. So just bear with me real quick. Alright. Now we're good. Alright, so we are getting ready to get started here shortly. But in the meanwhile, how you guys doing tonight? Guess I should put on the headphones, right? Seeing how can't exactly hear the movie without them. Base, no, that would have been Bloodline. That would have been part 4. That would have been after Hellraiser 3 Hell on Earth. Alright, so I think we've given it enough time. We're going to jump over to the commentary channel and then probably get this thing started. There we go. Well, that's a pretty cool poster. The movie I'm kind of about. I remember being about it when I first saw it when it came out. But that poster is pretty good. I mean, the mask is still shit, but the poster is really good. The last one for Hellraiser, that was about I don't want to spoil it, but ultimately it takes place with a serial killer going around killing people with certain with a certain religious motive with how he's doing it. And there's the auditors now alongside working with the Cenobites. And they have this house that tends to show up wherever. Like at one point it's in Germany and then in the US and so forth like that. What their job is, instead of opening the box, you now go, they entice you with money or whatever the hell. I forget exactly what the hell they entice this guy with. But they entice you to come there and pretty much confess your sins as it's being written by the auditor with your own blood on I think a page made of flesh. I think that's how that worked. And what they do is they give it to the next guy. It's almost like a paper filing. They give the sins to the next guy written in blood, and the guy eats it with I think it was like the tears of children or something like that. He pours like tears of children, and he eats it. And based on how corrupted your sins actually are and how fucked up they are, he regurgitates them back out. And for this guy, he was so bad that he made that guy choke. Now you're talking about a supernatural individual. He makes him choke and he regurgitates everything back out. And it goes from there to where the whole thing with the box pops up and you see a new Pinhead. Like because I'm trying to word it where I don't necessarily spoil it. But I would say watch it. Watch that one. Probably the one before it where it had a really goofy cover of a different guy playing Pinhead and it looked like he was shitting. Like he had that kind of look on it. Yes, Judgment. I would definitely recommend watching Judgment Death. It's very low budget, but very worth it. All right, Frost, now what were you saying? I just finished watching all of the Friday the 13th movies, and I don't see why they are liked so much. I think the remake is the only good one. Honestly, I thought the first 3 are boring and the rest are just dumb. No offense. I mean, no offense taken. As I said, with these kind of movies, a lot of it is subjective. Sorry, I had some dust on my camera. Gotta get down here and dust a little bit. They're subjective. If everybody liked the Friday the 13th movies, they would make $1 billion every time one released. And that's not the case. These movies become financially viable when they hit like $20 million. when putting the scope of things, $20 million at the box office for a movie is such a minuscule cult following compared to things like Marvel and DC movies and stuff like that. I don't expect everyone to like them. Everyone's going to have their own opinion. Like, there's probably people that have love for movies that I hate, and I don't necessarily berate them or anything like that. It's, it's what you like, what you don't like. Your opinion is your opinion, and it is what it is. But Chillin lied. Jason would kick Michael's ass. I can respect that. No, Ranger, I don't think there's much on the list to survive a trip to Camp Crystal Lake. Because, I mean, even if you take the whole no sex thing, that really doesn't help, because you look at Alice. Alice may have not had sex in part 1, but 3 months later, she still got killed. So, there you go. Hey, Geek, how you doing? Hoping to see you this weekend. I will definitely be there. All right. Looks like we got a nice little hefty number of people starting to watch now. All right. And that's across all platforms. I'm saying 6 people on YouTube is a lot. It's good for me because, I mean, I enjoy talking to all you guys. But got a couple people on Twitch, a couple people on Facebook. D Live is in and out, but it's all good. The Bane. Oh, yeah. Oh no, Frost. I don't know if you were here for Scream 4, but holy shit, man. That was a hell of a good movie. I loved Scream 4. Like, I definitely recommend you watch that. What's my Dead by Daylight name on Steam? Same as on the channel. JG Dark. Spelled the same way and everything. Same on Xbox too, if you guys have Xbox and you want to join me on there. Yeah, it was from what I understand, Death, the recasting of Pinhead, which was controversial at the time, but from what I understand, it goes both ways. Pinhead's real name is Elliot Spencer in the movies, and he was turned into the Hell Priest. Pinhead was something that his name he was given by fans. The first 3 letters are caps. JG space Dark. Geek. But, then I heard that the Hell Priest on, Judgment was not Elliot Spencer. It was a different guy. And he was given the title of Hell Priest long after Elliot Spencer has been disposed of. Oh, nice, Geek, nice. Hopefully next time I play, I see you on. Because I saw your message on Facebook about playing, but YouTube had some kind of issue with Restream, which I'm on now. Something about the link was flagged or something like that, and it could have resulted in a strike on my channel because it was a spam link, which it's not. The link that you see is the link that sends you to Restream if you want to use it as well, which obviously it's not spam because I'm using it and it's working well. But yeah, I'll definitely grab a couple of games with you whenever I do a gameplay stream, or just let me know on Discord when you're on, and if I'm off work, I might jump on. So you're trying to get better at it? It takes time. Definitely a learning curve on it. What's the list to survive Camp Juicy? Just see me in the director's cabin, and I'll give you the rules on how to survive Camp Juicy. Do I have Call of Duty Mobile? No, I do not. Sorry. The Call of Duty games, I haven't played mobile or console in a long time. Last one I tried was like Call of Duty 2, and that was for the zombie DLC, and I got kind of bored with it fairly quickly. Yes, I did watch some of Anti-Logic's videos death. I did watch that. Although, speaking of Anti-Logic, with that video on Michael Myers in relations to Silver Shamrock, I do have some doubt in that, because he does make reference that Michael seems to only be unkillable when he's wearing the mask. That's not entirely true. One, Michael, it would have had to have been a Silver Shamrock mask that he wore when he was 6 years old that made him lose his mind and kill his sister. But if you remember, when he gets the car from Nurse Marion and Dr. Loomis, he smacks the window with open palm and cracks it, and he still attacks the nurse, indicating that he's still just as crazy and strong. So there's some issues with that, and there's some details that he says in the video that sound plausible, but then when you apply it to the movie as a whole, and then you apply it to the series as a whole, especially when in relation to Halloween 2018, it definitely pokes some holes in it. But it is interesting, though. So, what's Camp Juice? It's Camp Juicy. Which, Frost, if you have a chance, go back and watch my Friday the 13th remake commentary. You'll know what Camp Juicy is all about. But alright, guys. Who's ready for Halloween H20? You got your movies ready? Ready to get started? Where's the contacts? I like the contacts. I am not wearing those every day. It's so juicy, dude. Hey, horror boy, how you doing? We're just getting ready to start the movie, my friend. Getting ready to jump into it. All right. So, will I be on DVD tonight? If I am, it'll probably be later on. I got a couple of things I want to watch. Getting into the Halloween spirit. We're going to be hitting Field of Screams in Lancaster Thursday night. So, trying to get into the Halloween spirit. Man, that's why I started even the stream with this guy on. I love how the hair looks on camera. You still might try to do some work on it. But alright, let us begin. Get your H2Os ready. No, Corn Cob Acres. Nope. You are going to feel the screams. And you will scream. We're actually taking bets on who's going to cry first. Ghost Bella or Ghost Abby? All right. Now, where is my... Okay, there we go. So you almost done watching Dexter? Well, you could always move on to Hannibal. I heard Hannibal's pretty good. I haven't watched it myself yet. I think I watched the first episode of Hannibal when it first came out. But I haven't watched it since. Are you the only one who thinks Rob Zombie's H2 isn't bad? H2 is a good slasher movie. A fucking terrible Michael Myers movie. Like, unfortunately. But then again, that's like I said, it's my opinion. Like, things differ person to person. If we were all the same, that movie would have made $1 billion. Did I play Identity V yet? No, I have not had the chance yet. Said H1 mask is sweet. Did I do anything to it yet? Yes, I did. I shaded around the cheek a bit, darkened underneath the nose, and darkened the lips. Darkened down on the glue line, and then took a little bit of orange and went back over where I darkened it at to try to give that flesh tone that the Kirk mask had. I used a little bit of that flesh tone, which is still lighter than I would like, so I may redo that, like underneath the chin, around the glue line, and so forth. Make it look like the paint was wearing off when Nick Castle was messing around with the mask. But overall, I like it. I did remove some of the foam on the inside because I wanted my eyes to be more near the top of the eye hole instead of centered. And when I had some of the foam in, it was stretching the mask too much. Not giving the castle stretch, because this already kind of has it on there. But it was stretching it to sort of reshaping the mask to where it didn't look right. It wasn't right to my eye when I was wearing it with the coveralls. And I felt like something was wrong. But apparently it was the foam. If I do add the foam back in there to center my eyes with the eye holes, I'm going to have to add foam around the sides too to fill out the mask the way the shape I want it to be. Why can't you go to Corncob Acres? Because Corncob Acres won't make you cry, Ghost Abby. We need to make you cry. We need to get you on my level. Executed. Get it? Did I watch the Creeper video? No, I have not yet. Ghost. Oh, not Ghost. Death. Sorry. Talking to Ghost Abby. Pinhead versus Tall Man movie. Yay or nay? I would probably say, because that's a lot of mixing. And do we keep the last Phantasm canon? That would be my my mindset, Mr. Nemesis. Which, hello, how you doing? It's been a while since I seen you in the stream videos and everything. It's been a while since I seen you on here. But my first notion is yay, because I think I could come up with a story that would put those two in the same crosshairs. I remember I did a story way back that put Pinhead against the Djinn from Wishmaster, because the idea of the Djinn's jewel in the Hellraiser box kind of intrigued me. And for some reason I had in my head, although it wasn't in the story, I had in my head, what if you fuse those two concepts together and you have the Jin jewel pretty much almost bedazzled around the lament, yeah, I guess it's the lament configuration. Yeah, the fight itself would be really good. The only thing is, I know with the tall man, we haven't really seen him hurt. Like, we've seen Pinhead get hurt. We've seen Pinhead get defeated. But we haven't seen the tall man actually defeated. We've seen it where it looks like his body has been destroyed, but he just comes right back as if nothing ever happened. So it'd be very interesting on how the Cenobites would deal with someone like the tall man. And his floating orbs. That could be something too. Because you would figure Pinhead's reason for going after the tall man would be encroaching on his domain with dominion over the dead. That alone would put the tall man in Pinhead's crosshairs. The question would be, would you need someone to actually bring the tall man to Pinhead like Kirsty had to do with Frank? Or would Pinhead actively seek out the tall man once released from the box? Take a shot every time the mask changes. Holy shit, everyone's about to have alcohol poisoning. Hey, Ty, how you doing? Halloween water indeed. I keep getting sidetracked with these conversations in chat, but I'm fucking loving it. So what would M99 do to Freddy versus Jason? M99, who is that? Like, it looks familiar, like the name, but I don't know who that is off the top of my head. Hey, Devin, how you doing? Ghost Abby, be nice or you going in timeout. Said John Kramer versus Dr. Loomis. John Kramer, without a doubt. Loomis is a lunatic. Kramer is a genius. Is Tall Man a slasher? I mean, he has stabbed someone with a knife using the form of someone else. And while in the first movie, they are depicted as dead, the sequels, they come back. But it's like such reality jumping in Phantasm that you can't really trust what you see. But ultimately, given his weapons of choice, the orbs that he controls, I would throw him in the slasher category. Just because they're creative. They're creative means of slashing and lobotomizing. So I would definitely say, yeah. Not in the traditional sense, but definitely a slasher. And take 10 shots when you see a CGI mask. Holy fuck, man. I guess I should have got alcohol for this. We need a NECA tall man. I'm surprised we haven't gotten one yet. It's ridiculous that we haven't gotten a NECA tall man, especially after Angus Scrimm died. That's crazy. But I can't wait to get that Ultimate Pinhead. Which they did say, I think I said in last night's stream, the Ultimate Pinhead isn't supposed to be releasing until December. It got pushed back or something like that. But either way, I can't wait. Just got pushed from a Halloween gift to a Christmas gift for me. Did any company ever make one? I would assume there had to have been someone that took a stab at it. Because the Tall Man's way too iconic to have. You got Reanimator figures, but you don't have the Tall Man. That is crazy. I mean, I love the Reanimator, but how does the Reanimator get a figure but not the Tall Man? take a shot every time they walk on the set of Dawson's Creek. Holy shit, man. Next time, I might do a redo commentary of H2O with a shit ton of alcohol just for this reason alone. We're just going to turn it into the fucking H2O commentary drinking stream. Yeah, the whole thing with Friday the 13th is ridiculous. I mean, hopefully at some point they do work something out. I mean, you figure once they do get the issues, the court thing, the whole copyright thing, Mr. Nemesis, they're going to rule in Victor's favor. At that point, it's up to Sean because they can still release the part 7, 8, and 9 figures, but they can't call it Jason. That would be the only thing. They can use the design, but they can't call him Jason on the box. So we can still technically get those, but they would have to just be like Friday the 13th Ultimate Part 7. And it wouldn't have Jason's name on it anywhere. They can use all the imagery from the movie and so forth like that. But they can't use the name Jason unless Victor makes a deal with Sean or vice versa. Same thing with Part 9, same thing with Part 8. They should be able, from my understanding of the law, for copyright on that, since Sean since Sean owns the hockey mask look of Jason, but he doesn't own the Jason Voorhees name, and he owns the Friday the 13th title, then that would mean that Sean can use everything but the name Jason, and he can't make a little kid figure, or at least remake, because I think NECA did one a while back. So we could still technically get it. It's going to take I'd say in the next 3-4 years, we'll know for sure what's going on top of movie news. Hey, what's going on, El Bandito? How you doing tonight? Halloween H2O is severely underrated. Has its flaws, but it's still gold. I mean, to me, it was too polished. Same thing with Resurrection. It had a good concept, but it needed the ruggedness of having a super low budget. And that's what it lacked. It looked like if you replaced Michael with Ghostface, it would fit perfectly. Which I believe they're even watching Scream in the movie, which we'll be seeing here shortly. No, because of the issues, everyone's already going to know that it is Jason, and in the movie he's referred to as Jason Voorhees. If you make a figure with that image and you call him Jason Voorhees, then you got to pay Victor. Every time that name is used, you have to pay him. So if you call him Jason, we know he's Jason. It's copyrighted by Victor easily. Like, he's going to get money from that, and Sean's not trying to give up any money at all. So just to steer clear, because technically I guess you could say they could even go back and try to argue, well, you can't copyright a name. True, but the character you can copyright. I mean, you would have to go about the Part 7 design probably a little bit differently than what it is in the movie, just to even say that it's an original character. It's like when someone does a cover to a song, but changes it enough so that way they can't get copyright on it. Not a cover, but I guess you could say they sample a song, but they change enough to not get sued by copyright law or anything like that. But it's very clearly still the same song. It's just they changed enough notes to not get hit. It's like the same concept just applied to figures. That H1 is on AMC right now. It's the drug in Dex's needle, hooligan. Who are you calling a hooligan? Exactly. They had WCW used a lot of songs, but changed just enough to not get sued. And the ones they did get sued for, that's when you heard them once and you never heard them again. But it was very rare. They were good at ripping off popular songs and changing just enough. Diamond Dallas Page's song, for instance. You know it's Teen Spirit. But when you hear the original song, you could hear it. But if you hear it with the intentions of hearing Diamond Dallas' song, it takes a few different routes during the instrumental. And that's where the key is. So what would it do to Freddy versus Jason? I would probably... I don't think it would do... It might mutate him. Almost Resident Evil style. Considering Jason's reanimated flesh already. That or probably wouldn't have any effect on him. Oh, I remember that, Mr. Nemesis. There's a lot of really, really good theme songs WCW had back in the day. But alright. Let us begin the actual commentary. Since I've been sort of getting so sidetracked with everything else, which I'll still be talking. We can still talk through the movie. Yeah, ECW didn't care. They would use actual songs. That's because I don't think with WCW being in prior to internet's the age of the internet, almost to its early infancy, it was very hard for anybody copyright wise to come out and try to see what songs they were using, especially in that atmosphere. You're not getting a copyright hound coming out just checking out ECW shows to make sure that they weren't using anything like that. Plus, I mean, they were seen as a very independent circuit at that time, and I think independent circuits, I think they are able to work by different rules. I'm not entirely sure, but because I know a couple of different independent circuits that use actual songs with disregard. But alright, for those that don't know, hopefully you got your H2Os ready. We are going to give a countdown, and when I say play, you hit play. We watch the movie together, and hopefully what I see is what you see and makes sense when I make reference to it. And with that being said, we are going to begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. It's like, who cuts a pumpkin like that? It's just stabbing the fuck out of it. It's like, I'm from Haddonfield. This is our style. Hey, what are we hemming about? No, we haven't. We just started the movie, Devin. We got in a little bit of a conversation, especially about horror stuff. You know, then you talk about old school wrestling, ECW and WCW. Holy shit, man! H2O ASMR. Michael Myers drinks a glass of water. If I was thinking of that horror boy, I would have brought a glass of water in here and tried drinking it with the mask on. I'm not sure because you would figure everything Lori went through, Frost. There should be no way that she had enough strength to do that because it didn't look like the axe was very sharp the way she hit him. It looked like she took a baseball bat to his neck. It's fucked up. Like send your friend in there when. Well, I guess they don't know it's a killer because they're not in Haddonfield, so there's no real threat of a serial killer popping up. But then again, in this one, Michael Myers has been missing since part two, anyways. Yeah, the whole movie definitely has some continuity issues, Frost. Everybody ready for Halloween? You know I am Bandito, which I will be at Baltimore Comic Con wearing this guy too, Friday and possibly Saturday. Not Saturday, Sunday. Saturday, I'll be Batman. Friday and Sunday, this guy. Laurie, I guess, yeah, because Laurie is a constant in every single timeline. So, who's my favorite Batman, Bandito? The Ben Affleck version. Looks and fighting wise. Like, he's so far, I feel like the best we've had. I wish we could have actually got him in an actual Batman movie to see what he could have really given us, but we'll see what Robert Pattinson does. So you want to be Michael as well? You were Michael last year, Abby. Because you clearly can't hear the bottles clinging. I mean, pretty much. Cops just like basically abandoned the whole fucking call. I mean, I don't have anything against Robert Pattinson as Batman, like at all. Unless I see the movie and the movie's utter garbage, then I'll have issues. Hey, what's going on, CM Drunk? How you doing? And Row Killer, how you doing tonight? We are currently 6 minutes and 15 seconds in to Halloween H20. If you want to grab your copies and join up. Yeah, I'm curious to see how Pattinson's Batman suit gonna look too. I hope they keep a good bit of the Affleck design. I'm not expecting them to keep the over exaggerated muscles. That's probably going to be toned down, and the symbol is going to be changed. But I hope they keep at least the premise of the muscle suit, because that looked outstanding. As part of the reason why I upgraded my suit to that. Yeah, definitely have the gray incorporated again. Ghost Abbey versus Part 6 Michael. I mean, Ghost Abbey would nag him to death. I am good. Doing the commentary tonight and enjoying a little bit of Michael Myers. Getting set for Halloween and Comic-Con this weekend. Danny DeVito as Jason. That's so off-putting. I think I like it. Just imagine a short Jason like coming after you. Like, you'd never see him coming. Oh, skate to the face. All right, now the whole thing with that is, how did Michael have him stand there? Because he was dead. It's not like rigor mortis. Like, he should have collapsed there unless Michael was holding him the entire time, expecting her to come to that door. They might, Mr. Nemesis, they might bring that symbol back. Yeah, I think Hartnett did a decent job in this movie. I mean, for what it was. Oh, I just imagine Dolph Lundgren would probably be a brutal fucking Jason. I mean, we've seen brutal Jasons, but Dolph Lundgren, I just think of like, I just think of like, essentially like him, especially off Arrow, like when he played the Russian on there, like just being completely cold and brutal throughout that entire movie. Danny Burrito. Danny DeVito's Crazy Ralph would be a very interesting change for a remake. He'll cut your Achilles heel. How would I have done Halloween 8? There's a concept that I had in my head for that, which I'll probably end up doing a video on, like redoing Halloween 8 entirely, but keeping the found footage aspect that they did in that one, with being based around the Myers house. Just certain things I would have changed that probably would have made the movie a bit better. But that'd be in a upcoming video, probably in the next couple of months or so, once I get these next couple of videos out. Yeah, I saw Drunk that you subbed to me. Thank you, my friend. Hope you're enjoying the videos as you're watching them, and the live streams when we do more of these as well. It's going to be a lot of commentaries coming, plus some other live streams as well. So it's like making fun of Michael's age, but Michael would have been 41 here. 41 years old, and you're talking about walking with a walker and how old Michael would be. Like, Jason was, what, 36, 38 when he started killing in the Friday the 13th movies as an adult? Discounting Alice, because Alice was 5 years prior. Mr. Bean as Jason. That would be hilarious, Dad. What's my rating for this film? I'd probably give this film... Overall, I would probably do maybe a 3 out of 5. Maybe. Why isn't Jason's mask in the background? Because it's on my 6-foot mannequin behind the green screen. And I didn't necessarily want to drag that out. Because that thing, while I like wearing the costume, that thing's a bitch to undress and redress. Which next time I probably undress it, I'll probably switch it with my 2018 Michael Myers costume. What's the order of my list of Halloween films? That's going to be an upcoming ranking video that I'm going to be doing after I finish the Halloween series. So stay tuned, Drunk. You'll find that out very, very, very shortly. Why does H20 get such praise? Because it was the only one of the Halloween sequels at the time that was able to lure Jamie Lee Curtis back. And it was so polished and presented itself in such a... in such a positive light that all the critics loved it. Well, I think a good portion of the critics. I remember there was a shit ton of good reviews for it. But I remember when I watched it, it was like, well, this wasn't what I was expecting. This seemed more like Scream to me. Like, I think if you would have probably grimied up the movie a little bit, not made it so polished, gave us a much better looking mask than what we got, and pretty much explained a bit better on how this follows up part 2, it would have worked a bit better. Because you look at that right there, the scene where Michael's going into the closet, you look how grimed up that looks from it being as low budget as it was. And then you go to this and you see how polished it is. It doesn't fit tone-wise. Because my thing was, you had the nurse Marion, taking care of Loomis. So that means he survived the fire. Michael, we know, disappeared and survived the fire. So who the fuck was burning at the end of part 2? Who was walking through the hallway and just laid there a charred mess? And where does Michael keep finding these pristine white Halloween masks? Because, I mean, granted, he might be taking care of them, but they still shouldn't look like that. There should be 20 years of age on those. But it looks like he literally just waited 20 years, got a new fresh set of coveralls, and found a mask somewhere. And hey, I like this. Oh, thank you, Drunk. Thank you. I got my H20, and when I kicked off the stream, I kicked it off with my H1. Still, like I said, still working on the hair. I gotta get some hair gel to really get these strands the way I want them. But yeah, can't wait to start breaking this guy out for photo shoots. Yeah, the score definitely sounds off, especially when they did the theme. Because they started the theme really well with how much bass was in it. And it came off as really creepy. But then when they started going into some of the more orchestral kind of aspects of it, where it ventures off from the classic theme song, it was like, took me out of it a bit. So, who was his dad then that's a methadone addict? Is it me or does Josh Hartnett kind of sound like Dean from Supernatural? Give him like a little bit of a deeper voice. I mean, I think Halloween H2O was okay, but it could have been far better. Far, far better. I think in comparison between this and Halloween 2018, 2018 blows this one completely out of the water. Really? Reese Witherspoon auditioned for a part in this movie? That seems very odd because I've always seen Reese Witherspoon as kind of having her nose turned up at these kind of movies. Like slasher movies was never really her thing. Especially around this time. You're talking Legally Blonde Reese Witherspoon. Oh, nothing wrong with liking Jason Goes to Hell, Horror Boy. Like I said, Jason Goes to Hell is a fun slasher movie with a very interesting concept. But when you apply it to the overall continuity of Friday the 13th, it just doesn't fit. That's where you start to lose me as a fan of it. But I can watch it all day. When's my next Jason fan theory video? I'm working on a few of them. But because of it being October, I'm mostly focusing on Michael Myers related content. Although my next video that I am working on that will be out will be the part 2 of Who's Stronger, Michael or Jason. Putting Undead Jason against Thorn Michael Myers. Comparing their feats of strength and seeing who is depicted stronger on film. Which, if you haven't watched the part 1 to that, that is in my playlist. Oh, nice, Drunk. Nice, nice, nice. Hopefully you enjoy the entire thing as a whole. And feel free to comment. You disagree, agree, anything. Yeah, exactly, our boy. Because I mean, I look at Jason Goes to Hell similar with like even a lot of the fan films that I like Never Hike Alone. It could Never Hike Alone could fit better in continuity, although that still doesn't necessarily explain how Jason melted in part 8 and then came back. But I can take them as one-offs and still works completely fine. It's when you apply them to continuity, which the way Vincente DeSanti described it to me, it makes sense. It's just certain details that we don't know. With Jason Goes to Hell, it's a complete changing of the lore, but it's a fun one off. Oh, nice, drunk. Nice, nice. Feel free to share whenever. I do have the Discord link down below as well. Feel free to join the Discord and share whatever you come up with your Roy Byrne story. Like, I'm always glad to read and hear it. Oh, I remember you saying that, Mr. Nemesis. I remember seeing your costume for it, which looked really, 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 really good. That was like a while ago. I'm not sure if you did anything else to it since then. I could definitely agree with that, horror boy. I guess you could say Lori came out of that shy shell that she had in '78. Which there's a video on YouTube, Mr. Nemesis, that does Friday the 13th costumes for like 25 bucks. Like, shows you how to do it yourself and everything. He did a Jason Goes to Hell one that instantly reminded me of like of you just because of the Jason Goes to Hell, and the costume came out great. If I can find the link, I might send that to you on Facebook if I can find it. That might help you out getting the look that you want. Maybe. Maybe what? Maybe yes. Maybe no. Maybe so. Hmm. I actually remember when I saw Michael's look in Resurrection in a magazine. I think it might have been, wasn't Fangoria. It might have been Rue Morgue. It was like one of those magazines around that time that Halloween Resurrection was coming out. And I remember seeing the mask, and I remember thinking that mask looks good compared to what we got in HTO. That mask looked really good. The only thing that I cannot fucking stand, and it seems like they cannot get up until Halloween 2018, they couldn't get the mask right, and even Rob Zombie got it kind of right, was the hair. They kept giving Michael Myers this kind of blowout afro kind of look, and it just didn't look right. Like, they never looked at the Kirk mask and saw how that hair was laid down and how the strands kind of worked out to recreate that. That was the only thing that killed that mask. But the sculpt was good. Don't worry, Mr. Nemesis. I'll do a quick search. Like, once I get off here tonight, probably before I start watching some horror movies and TV shows. I'll do a quick search, see if I can't find it. If not, then I'll try again tomorrow. Fucking LL Cool J. Have a good night, Drunk. And enjoy the videos as well. Did I like the way Michael was played? Yeah, I like the way he was played. I think the things that they had done to him was very weird, especially in Resurrection. Hey, what's going on, Big Kevin Bop? How you doing tonight? No? Yes? Hey, you were never the only one, Frost. You're the only one on Twitch that I can see right now. And then Kevin showed up. See, my only thing with like most slasher movies, I felt like they should be entry level movies for actors. Like this movie, having Jamie Lee come back made sense because she was in this 1978 film. Josh Hartnett wasn't necessarily a big name at this time, so it made sense for him to come on. But then getting like LL Cool J, Tyra Banks and Busta Rhymes and Resurrection, fucking like in Freddy vs. Jason, getting Kelly Rowland, like getting these popular names in the movies just to put asses in seats was ridiculous. Because I always looked at it like it's useless because it's like putting a big name in a role like Batman or Superman. The character is going to sell itself. Like, you don't need a big name in it, and you use so much budget on that big name for no reason at all. Trick or treat, motherfucker. Yeah, the scene where Busta Rhymes talks shit in the Michael Myers mat. When I first saw that, I did die laughing. I had the DVD, which I still think I have. Has a special feature on there where you watch the movie strictly from the cameras themselves inside the Myers house. You skip everything that happens to Laurie Strode in the mental asylum. Basically, it starts the moment they start the live stream. And it carries on to that, which is makes the movie a lot more interesting in my opinion. I can't remember if they showed the end when Michael gets set on fire, but they do have that part where Michael and Busta interact. And you hear all the dialogue from Busta Rhymes on there. It's even funnier from that angle because it just looks like two people arguing near the Myers staircase. Sam Loomis with the BFG. Did you like the way Michael Myers has sex with Laurie in H20? Does he? Does Michael Myers get kinky with it? Is that what you're implying? I mean, I think Michael penetrated her, just not in the way that you think. Although, if that's sex to you, maybe some issues there. Looking a little crispy, Michael. Motherfucking fried. I forgot about that line. Do I think a remake of John Carter could work? I think with something like John Carter, its target audience isn't necessarily going to watch it. If that was the case, you would have had a lot more interest in the last movie that they did. I think something like John Carter stands better to probably be a TV series, maybe a Netflix series or something like that. But as a movie, it's likely not going to recoup the money that they're going to have to pump into it to get everything right. Michael's penis is the kitchen knife. Damn. Michael's a slut then. He's like stabbing everybody in Haddonfield. Gave Loomis a little prick. Well, I guess the wording in that is literal then, huh? Really, I'm really uncomfortable with you saying that word. It ain't easy being a slasher. Especially when you look at it from that angle. Jason got a gym underneath Crystal Lake. Fucking doing hydrotherapy and shit. Just imagine nobody's at Crystal Lake and fucking Jason just doing his Aquaman impression, swimming circles at like fucking 80 miles an hour. Saw the scene from Freddy versus Jason where he was afraid of water, got angry and did like 100 laps. I'm not fucking afraid of it. So, if Michael's knife is his penis, does that mean Jason's machete is his? And in regards, does that mean Jason's bigger? I think that's what that's implied. For any Michael fan. Like Michael just riding around town until he finds fucking Laurie Strode just happened to be out and about. Hey, what's going on, Garrett? How you doing? Freddy's got multiple dicks. Holy shit, man. I didn't think of that. I did not think of Freddy in that regard. No wonder all the ladies love Freddy. He comes prepared for a fivesome. Yeah, the Scream 2 reference definitely makes no sense in this. Hey, Freddy's got some size problems, but he knows how to use it for one. And he's got multiple. First time on here, welcome, Garrett. Hope you're enjoying the stream, especially talking about sharp objects as sexual organs. But hey, what else is a slasher villain supposed to satisfy that urge? Freddy turns into a big dick in part 3. I remember that. Not only a big dick, but the big dick tries to eat someone on top of it. So he's Edward Penis Hands. Yep. We got spirit dicks. Say, got done from bowling. How about you? Mostly been setting up for Halloween and Comic-Con. Jumped on to do my Halloween H20 commentary for the night. Still working my way through the Halloween series. Nobody could talk Leatherface in his dick. Holy shit, man. But I mean, it's a chainsaw. But no, I guess because I was gonna put it in vibrator kind of category because it is, you know, automated. I guess you could say not automated. That's not the correct word, but it is. It shakes. But I mean, it could be like Robo Penis, something like that. Freddy's like, you're killing me, Frost. Oh, yeah. Pinhead's into some kinky shit. Goodbye, Abby. Make sure you get to bed. Like you say, your internet cutout geek. That happens. Luckily, it hasn't happened to me lately, but watch. It will. Which slasher would look best in anime form? Pinhead. Without a doubt. Pinhead would look awesome as an anime. Imagine the Cenobites and the way the Cenobites get called from the box in anime form would be fucking epic. Yeah, and H2O lore, I'm surprised they didn't do since they already got Halloween 2018 lore out. Why are we talking about slashers' penises? Because we're genuinely curious, Devin. I mean, they keep those weapons polished for a reason. I mean, Michael, he just goes in and just leaves everything on there. Like he's kind of like that promiscuous girl that just jumps from bed to bed, doesn't even shower or anything. At least Hannibal will make you dinner first. True. And he's not afraid to eat the ass. From what I hear, that's a big plus. The next JG Dark t-shirt, Robo Penis. Just a fucking chainsaw with a penis head on the end of it. Are we talking about penis fingers? Well, we were talking about Michael Myers' knife being his penis, and then we got on the subject of Jason's machete being his penis, and whose would be bigger. So then Jason is obviously bigger. So then we're looking at Fred. Well, Freddy has 4 penises because he's got 4 knives, and then we just went from there. Ghostface will call you in the morning. Maybe just put the tip in. Call you in the morning. Try to come back for seconds. Hannibal's nice and classy. Make you dinner. The way these things could go, they could go all night. The stream, just like this movie, is rated R. And Ty, they would all be welcome. Robo Penis shirts will go on sale. What about Pinhead's penises? My thing would be he would be more dominatrix. He's not into actually using a penis on you. He's trying to stick a heel up your ass. Something like that. Like, I don't need a knife. Some of us prefer it. Yeah, very true. I've heard psychiatrists that are debating these movies talk about that, Mr. Nemesis. Yeah, it's true. Ash is well endowed in many areas. It's got to be a reason the Deadites keep coming back for him. What horror movie would be cool as a graphic novel? I mean, Freddy. I mean, Freddy, I think, lends itself visually very much to that. Yeah, I think H2O would have probably benefited more from incorporating the other appearances of Michael Myers. But with that, they would have to kind of explain away the thorn thing, which could be done, but they would have to try to make sense of it all. And I think for them, it was just too much of a tough task at that time. So it just made sense just to scrap the whole thing. The hook on his hand would be his penis, Devin. Said, my friend recently got the Tot 78 mask and going to put combined makeup of all four members of Kiss. In fact, the God of Thunder was the beginning of. Okay, yeah. That's nice. That's real nice, actually. That's a great concept. Garrett? Yeah, like I said, I believe I told someone else, like, make sure you join the Discord. Your friend gets that done. I would love to see pictures of it, and during one of my gameplay streams, I'd be glad to share it if you got pictures. So yeah, make sure you stick around and share whatever you can, because that sounds fucking amazing. What if Pinhead had penises where his pins are? JG, food for thought. Well, would that make Pinhead a dickhead more than Pinhead? Yeah, I don't know why the blue lighting for a lot of the Halloween sequels didn't utilize the low key blue light, considering that was the original's calling card. You have a good night, Mr. Nemesis. And like I said, I'll be looking for that link for you, and I'll send it to you on Facebook. But thank you for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you again, my friend. That would have been very interesting, Bandito. Pinhead versus Michael Myers. But ultimately, I felt like it would have been very one sided. Very, very one sided. So it's like, why didn't Michael kill the only security on campus? It didn't really make sense for Michael's character. Especially knowing that he controls the gate. Like, you could have killed him there and then not had to worry about the gate ever opening or shutting. What slasher would have more penises? Victor Crowley. I think Victor Crowley would probably have a lot of them, just stored all around the swamp. Yeah, it would be interesting to see if they could tie it into the Thorn plot. I mean, attached on a person? That I wouldn't know, Geek. At that point, you're talking almost tentacle like. Which potential could be Freddy. Freddy or the Wishmaster, because I mean, Wish or the Leprechaun, they can all make multiple things appear. See, this also could have been benefited a lot from Carpenter's score, because I think Carpenter's score would have lended itself very greatly to this. If they could have got John Carpenter back to do a couple extra music pieces. See, like right there, it should have been the Shape Stalks. That should have been that music piece there. Jason versus Michael needs to happen. I mean, that could be a thing. I mean, we already seen the fan film of it, but it would be the whole thing, like how you would get them to come about. And to me, I wouldn't want to see a tie. I would want to see a definitive winner, which to me screams that Michael would have to win because they know Jason could come back to life. If Jason was to kill Michael, the manner that Jason would likely kill Michael would mean Michael, the only way he's coming back is a reboot at that point. So you got people watching Scream and Halloween, and people watching Halloween and Scream. So it's like horror inception. Pinhead, not Pinhead, the tall man has a lot of balls. I ever played Silent Hill 2 briefly when it first came out, Horrorboy. I have not played it. I am in possession of it, but I have not played it. I ended up getting it when I was planning to do a lot more retro horror nights playing the games, but I'm still getting my set that I stream with all set up and getting used to the setup. So I haven't really been doing retro horror nights. Not the way I've been wanting to do. I mean, he could. Tall man could definitely, especially in the last movie, he's shown with some really big balls. So you would imagine there's something else going on there too. Oh yeah, definitely Bandito. You would have to really differentiate both of the silent killers, why they're killing, and ultimately showcase their differences, their methods of killing, and everything else. I still look at it the same way that I put it in my Michael versus Jason video, like who would win in a fight between the two. I think it also matters as to how they meet. And I see Michael more or less meeting Jason in Crystal Lake than Jason meeting Michael in Haddonfield, which would give, depending on the version of Jason you use, if it's living Jason and the camp is still active from time to time, then Jason would be oblivious to Michael being there, and Michael may be able to sneak up on Jason's shack and take him out. But if the camp has been abandoned and Jason is hunting down anyone that comes on near the camp, and Michael tracks a victim to around that area, it's very likely that that's going to give an undead Jason a huge advantage against Michael Myers as far as stalking him and getting the drop on him. Horror soundtracks best on vinyl or CD? Everything from what I understand, because I don't have a record player to play vinyl on, but from everything I've ever heard, vinyl is far superior. But I cannot 100% confirm that because I don't have one. I have actually a from one of the horror boxes that I got a while back, the soundtrack for Aliens, but I don't have anything to play it on, so I'm not a good judge of music in that sense. My opinion on the current state of horror is getting better, a lot better, mostly on television as opposed to movies. But Halloween 2018 is definitely a step in the right direction to going back to traditional slashers. As far as anything supernatural that goes on, it's still a lot of shit. Unless you're going across seas to like Japan for like ghosts, it's still shit. But you get on TV, TV is phenomenal. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, like all of them are pumping out really great horror shows. Then even on regular cable is like really good. So I think horror is going to survive a whole lot better on streaming platforms, especially when the streaming platforms are making the movies too. Mainstream horror is not that good. What if Bray Wyatt was a slap? I could just imagine if the Fiend came out there with like a scythe or something like that. I heard something about they're making a new Arkham game, but I've been hearing that for years, Geek. I didn't know they actually confirmed it though. What would have to be H6 Michael versus Part 7 G? Oh, it would have to be H6 Michael versus Part 7. Definitely. Definitely. 100% agree. You put any other version of Michael against Part 7 Jason, he's getting steamrolled. Yeah, I think Macaulay Culkin will probably do whatever you ask him as long as you pay him. I don't know how much he's asking, but I'm fairly certain you can get him to do a fan film. I mean, he's on the Angry Video Game there not too long ago, so I'm fairly certain. What bands are you into? I mean, I jump all over. Mostly into things like Xandria. Like, I listen to a lot of their music. Um, Even Evanescence, stuff like that. That kind of music I'm drawn to because it's very unique and different. And I tend to like it because it's not plastered all over the radio 24 fucking 7. So I go a little bit more towards the gothic kind of synth sound, I guess you could say. Yes, you would figure studios would take more risks with horror. Just because their issue is they pump so much money into horror movies that don't need it. That was the appeal of horror, is you could get a super low budgeted movie and make a shit ton of money off of it. And then they start looking at, well, what if we pump $75 million into a slasher film and it only makes 20 million back, when slasher films are notorious for low returns, Halloween 2018 notwithstanding. But they definitely need to take a ton more risks with horror movies in general. I am interested in the new Grudge movie coming out, though. I am interested in that. I want to see where they go with that, or if this is just going to be utter shit. Yeah, you can send it to me on Facebook. If you send it in the chat, it probably I won't be able to find it. So make sure you send it through Facebook, so that way I know I could definitely get to a geek. Or drop it in the Discord as well. Oh, definitely. Part 7 Jason was him at one of his moments in his best as undead. And yes, Angry Video Game Nerd is also. Oh, here comes the CGI mask. That shit looks terrible. So I remember there's a story behind why the CGI mask was on there, but I can't remember it. I think it was something they had to go reshoot, and they didn't have the actual mask that they used for the rest of the movie. So they just said, fuck it, we'll do it in post. Yeah, definitely. Like, independent creativity versus Hollywood creativity. Like, independent creativity is going to win all the time, because when you go into a movie with an independent creative mindset, you have a certain thing that you're going about the story with. When studios start stepping in, that's when shit starts saying, well, we need more of this, we need more of that, we need more of this, and it just throws the entire fucking movie off. Hey, Ghost, how you doing tonight? So you reserved your H2 Mikey at GameStop. Fantastic. When's it supposed to be coming out? Like the release day? So I'm surprised Garrett he hasn't done one of those yet. Like fucking all those candles lit. It looks like the Cult of Thorn was there. Oh, so you're snagging them on Thursday. Great. So I've been thinking of getting some of those Trick or Treat Studios pumpkins too, especially when they get them back in stock. Unfortunately, I just saw the message about the Halloween 1978 butcher knives that Trick or Treat Studios delayed. Like apparently they're not going to be getting them until a couple days before Halloween, so I won't necessarily be having mine to go out on Halloween with, but I'll go out as 2018 Michael again. Save 1978 for next year, or possibly another convention down the road. Yeah, definitely. Rob Zombie made Michael a brutal killer. Like, he gave him a massive mean streak. The only problem with Michael having a mean streak is him showing emotion because of having the mean streak. And it goes against what the shape is supposed to be. I'll check it out after the stream, Geek. I'm super fucking excited for it. Like, just hearing that there's a new Batman game coming, I'm hoping it's what all the leaks supposedly have been saying. So you wonder if Michael knows who he is. Or is he just going at... Which, again, doesn't make any sense why he's going after all the kids at the school instead of his primary target, Lori. But he left LL Cool J alone. So any juicy one? There's a couple. I mean, not Friday the 13th juicy now, but decent enough. So Halloween Hot Topic is going to release the H20 Michael Myers Funko Pop. Interesting. Is that like a limited release, Garrett? Or is it just releasing on Halloween? And you'll be able to get it pretty much any time after that. Like Michael's like, I got you. I'm gonna get in there. It's only exclusive Hot Topic. Okay. I have to see if I can't get one. Might be able to use one for the collection. Oh, they got a lot of shit coming out then there, Garrett. Holy shit. Like no Triss type juicy? God damn it. Yeah, Chillin didn't stick around long enough to do Chillin with Michael. At that point, it'd just be beating a dead horse, Ty. Repeat of part two. Like, did you just shake the change out of him? Could have swore I saw pennies hitting the floor. Where the fuck was she hiding? Because it didn't look like there was anywhere she could have been hiding that Michael didn't see her. Do you think Superman farts with the strength and ferocity of a billion supernovas? Which wasn't Rocksteady also working on a game too? Did they ever release what the hell they're working on? Why does Michael Myers' mask keep changing? Your guess is as good as mine with that one. Like, I mean, I could probably do a Dark Theories video on it at some point. But holy shit, that would me trying to connect a whole lot of dots. How big would Goku's farts be? Probably pretty big too. Like, we're talking atomic level, especially in scent. Like, I feel bad for Chi Chi. A day where Superman has diarrhea. Like, holy shit, man. If I was Lois, I'd give his ass kryptonite. Like, you fucking break this toilet one more time, I'm gonna fucking gift wrap and hand you to Lex Luthor. Oh, I've seen how all the Saiyans eat. Like, I've watched many run throughs of Dragon Ball, like series, movies, everything, except for like GT. For some reason, I've watched GT, but I cannot remember much from it. It's like I almost blacked it out. It's like, why didn't Michael just keep the axe? Oh yeah, Broly was fucking fantastic. That transformation has got to be, in my mind, maybe because it's so new, still in my head, but that Broly transformation was literally the best that I've seen in Dragon Ball. It's like such a big holy shit moment. Like Bane farts though. You imagine the glowing fucking green fumes coming from Bane's ass. What's the best Halloween score? I would probably say 2018. Because 2018 gives you the original score updated and then gives you some new Carpenter music on top of it. And the additions are just as classic as the originals. I don't know if Clayface would. Because, I mean, yeah, you get air pockets in Clay, but I don't know if that necessarily constitutes as Clayface farting. Tuesday when he has diarrhea, nothing's left. What about when Jason farts? It's like instant death. You almost get rather you're fucking stabbed with a machete. It's a good example of like already a classic theme from the 2018 um, soundtrack is The Shape Hunts Allison. That is fucking fantastic. And the multiple takes that Carpenter does on the traditional Michael Myers theme is really good too. So yeah, I would probably say out of the series, Halloween 2018 probably has the best soundtrack. Say Gogeta or Vegito? I would say Gogeta. I like Gogeta better. Has that Gotenks arrogance to him. I never played Halo, Devin, so I would have no idea how to power scale the Flood against Goku and Vegeta. At times, Ty. At times, depending on what I eat. I would not only get burned by Xeno Acid Ghost, I would bathe in a tub of it before spending 3 milliseconds with chillin'. Dead rotting farts from Solomon Grundy. Holy shit, man. Broly or Broly? Man, I like the Super Broly better than the other one. To be completely honest. So I wonder if they were planning to bring LL Cool J back with that. So the question is, wouldn't Laurie Strode, even if she didn't go crazy, wouldn't she be arrested because of this? Because even though it's Michael Myers, even if it stayed as Michael, wouldn't this still be considered murder on her part? Because I think in some cases, Devin, kryptonite can be manufactured. Finding actual kryptonite, I think that's what's hard. I have no idea, Geek. I have no idea where all those farts would go. Maybe to the Chaos Realm? To annoy Clarion? It's the scariest story I ever read. There was one story that I can't remember the book's name, but there was one story when I was in elementary school where someone read it to me. I think it was the teacher. They read it, and it was about a body that came into a morgue, had a toe tag on it and everything. And I can't remember if the body, like, it was actually a dead person or they presumed the person was dead. And he rose up and essentially was trying to kill the two kids in the mortuary. I can't remember if there was any kills in the story. I think there was, but I can't remember. It was such a long time ago. But I remember when I first heard that story, I was not freaked out, but very intrigued and got chills from it. See, it's like, why didn't the guy just take off the mask there? Because clearly you touched your own head. And judging by the guy they got to play, the paramedic in Halloween Resurrection, you knew that wasn't your hair. And breathing, you would know that there's something over your mouth. That was like a baseball bat to the neck. Didn't really seem like there was a lot of cutting going on. At least they gave us the actual theme song. All right. That was Halloween H20. And of course, talking about penises. Oh, man. And the thing is, I think how I would have did Resurrection, If you really wanted to bring Michael back and you have Laurie in a mental institution, why didn't you just go all in and make it where the entirety of H2O was Laurie having a complete breakdown, because we see she has hallucinations of Michael throughout the entire movie. Would it be what would be more believable to you guys? Michael Myers getting stabbed, falling off a balcony, going after a paramedic, crushing his larynx, and switching clothes with the paramedic before walking off with his butcher knife. Now, considering Laurie knows what Michael looks like, she's seen his face. And if she's having these kind of flashbacks about Michael to begin with, that face she would always remember, especially the scar on the eye, because I would assume the scar is still there. And then there's the burn marks, because we know Michael burned in part 2. We see the mask burning. So he would have burn marks on his face, and Laurie would recognize that. Why didn't they just do it where the reason Laurie got committed to an asylum was because she hallucinated and obsessed over Halloween and Michael finding her for so long that she finally snapped, and she was the actual killer in this movie? What if she killed everyone at Hillcrest Academy and was committed, and the reason Michael comes to the asylum to kill her is because you would do it like she would be all over the news. Survivor of Halloween massacre in 1978 has her own massacre. Her real name would be plastered all over the place, and Michael would realize she's still fucking alive, and he would be able to find information on where the asylum is that she's committed to and go there and kill her, and then move on to the rest of Halloween Resurrection, which would make sense to have press around it, not necessarily for Busta Rhymes' Dangertainment, but you could have multiple reporters wanting to get the scoop on what might have drove both Laurie, who now is known as the sister of Michael Myers, and Michael Myers to both go on separate murder sprees. Is there something in the Myers house that maybe someone missed? And you have journalists doing the found footage kind of deal throughout the Myers house, live throughout the entire night on Halloween night as sort of a gimmick thing, and then carry on from there. Remove Busta Rhymes, remove Tyra Banks, and go from there. Have Michael come home from finally killing Laurie Strode for good and find these people in his house and go about not only killing the people that's watching and like basically the engineers in the news vans outside, but working his way inside the house and killing people in a similar manner and suspense that they built up for every kill in Halloween 1978. That'd be the kind of way I would go with that. Because then it takes away everything that you hated that Michael did in H2O. The multiple changing masks, it would explain. Because Laurie, it's been 20 years. So her memory of how the light hit the mask, how the light would hit the mask and give it different looks. Obviously, the mask would change because of that, because she saw the way the light hit the mask in different ways, giving it different appearances. So every time you see the mask, it seemingly changes, because in her mind, that's what she's imagining. And then you find out she's the one that killed everybody at Hillcrest Academy, gets committed. Michael finds out, probably watching the news somewhere as he's like hiding out, probably under the Myers house if you wanted to keep that aspect. He finds out that Laurie not only is alive, but she had her own murder spree on Halloween night. Michael realizes his work isn't done, goes to where she's committed, kills her, and then comes back to a complete media circus around the Myers house. And that's why I say I want to keep the found footage aspect, because I want the news reporters, maybe the journalists, doing live, like a live 10-hour, basically like how Ghost Adventures does on Halloween, where they do the overnight investigation of a haunted place. I would want that, but applied to the Myers house, and have Michael work his way from the outside inward, killing a few people. Not a body count movie like a Friday the 13th movie. Give me maybe 5 or 6 kills in that movie, and have it where Michael is sneaking up on people, where you have a similar scene where, like, when Laurie Strode was crying in 1978 after finding all the bodies laid out, and you just see Michael's face slowly appear from the darkness, and he goes to stab at her, misses. Have that scene, this time, hitting, killing, and dragging the body back in the darkness with him. That's the way I would kind of go about that. You have a good night, Devin. But I'm going to probably go more in depth with how I would do Halloween Resurrection. Probably after I do the Evil Dead video. But so far, I kind of like that concept. Like making where Laurie, the entire Halloween H20 thing was in her head. And because of the whole thing that happens, like over the past 20 years, that she finally snaps, that's her obsession with Halloween and Michael Myers is ultimately what does her in. That's what I kind of like. It's the irony. She's been constantly worried that Michael is going to find her, when if she would have lived a carefree life after 1978 and she wasn't traumatized by it at all, Michael would have never found her. Possible dark theory? Maybe. Maybe. What's my thoughts on a Michael Myers character study film? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it at all, because we kind of already saw something like that with Rob Zombie's Halloween. And it rubs a lot of Halloween fans the wrong way. What I would more so want to see, especially in Halloween Kills, since we know they're doing flashbacks, show me Michael pre-1963 Halloween. Show me him as a 6-year-old kid prior to that Halloween, being happy, loving his parents, loving his sister. Like, just being a normal, happy kid. And seeing him in a scene with him being that happy, loving kid, and knowing that something snaps in him for no reason on 1963. And he kills Judith for no reason. And he's never been the same since. He's been this monster ever since, and nobody can explain why. Nobody knows what drove him to it. There's literally no reason for it. So I would kind of only want to see something like that. Like, it would be fairly interesting, like, if that was the case. Slowly petting my Myers figure. Yes. Interesting. Yeah, because I think with Michael Myers, his biggest strength is the ambiguity of it all. With Jason, we know why he's doing what he's doing. With Freddy, we know why he's doing what he's doing. Leatherface, we pretty much know why he's doing what he's doing. Everyone really has a motive except Michael, until the part 2 where you realize you're hunting down family. But if you're just going by the movies now with 1978 and 2018, then you disregard that entire motive, and it's back to square one where it's like, well, what is his point? He has none. He just snapped, and that's pretty much it. Hey, what's going on, Brino Owls? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Just coming in a little bit late. Probably going to be ending here shortly. But I do appreciate that you dropped by. Hopefully you give us a follow, and see you in the next one. I want that 2-pack by NECA too, Garrett. I've been wanting to get it, but I'm also on the because I also want to get the Ash versus the Evil Dead figure with the chainsaw. What days am I going to be up at Baltimore Comic Con? All 3. I'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yeah, they weren't necessarily that type of juicy chuck. But hopefully. I mean, we do got, I believe, Katie Sackhoff in Halloween Resurrection. She's not half bad. Why did they never make an H20 figure? I think they will eventually. Especially with the resurgence of Halloween. They're going to make all the figures that they can. All right, guys. That's going to end up doing it for me for the night. I will be